The AI revolution. So ChatGPT arrived on our desks November 2022. So we haven't even seen it for a year yet. And it's an example of what's called a large language model. So ChatGPT, Google Bard, and lots of others. And every tool you use now has an AI part. It's just the tip of an iceberg. It looks like the start of the AI revolution. What will it mean to you and your business? What parts of business industry will it impact? If you're in manufacturing, the reality is that AI has been around in one form or another for many years. But for the rest of us, it's only just starting, and it will gather pace. You either get on board and make it work, or you get dragged along in its wake. Should you go all in, bet the farm, or should you wait and see? According to a recent McKinsey report, they worry that the laggards will be left behind, far behind. But does that mean you need to find lots of money for AI today? That's sort of your choices today. Whichever route you eventually settle on, you should be getting your business AI ready. And that is what I'm going to outline today. We'll be talking about the framework that we have developed. This is what some of your peers are doing right now. My aims for this session are just to be thought-provoking, to prick your curiosity, to get you ask yourself, are we ready for AI? Are we really data-driven? How will we use AI? How will it impact us? And during this session, I would like you to gain a greater understanding of the issues and solutions that I've experienced with other clients. Many are common in every business, so if anything resonates with you, pop it into the chat and I'll cover it if I can now or later. Remember, the chat is private and can't be seen by anyone else now or on any recording. Secondly, I want to introduce you to the Intellidat way of getting AI ready, being an AI winner. And a hint here, it's not about the technology. I apologize in advance. I am very passionate about this topic, so if I start preaching, if I sound like I'm telling you what you need to do, just bear with me. AI is new, but we need to think in new ways. And finally, we're going to finish with a Q&A section. So if you have a question that you'd like me to deal, put it into the Q&A section rather than the chat. If you put questions in the chat, I will come across them, I will deal with them, but probably afterwards. But remember, both are confidential. They're only visible to you and me. I often use the chat in these just to make notes, things that resonate or jar. You can see them, I can see them, but nobody else can. Remember, as we go this, I'm not trying to sell you anything. If you can go ahead and get yourself ready without any help from me, then that is a win as far as I'm concerned. If you want help or advice going forwards, then we can set up a call after this. During our time together, I want to introduce you to the concept of intelligent data. What is data being data-driven, and why does it matter today to take this seriously? Being data-driven prepares you to be AI ready. You lay down the foundations. We'll discuss the vital relationship between people, process, systems, and technology, what we call the culture, a business culture that focuses on these key pillars and the data that is created and runs throughout the business. The importance of what we have found of why it's important to put data at the heart of your digital or information strategy. Data-centric, not application-centric. I want to address some of the myths. It's all about the technology. This is quite a big issue. Technology is part of the tools that you use for your systems. The value will always lie in your data and what you can do with it. Quantity of data over quality, the effect and danger of these data silos. A silo is a container with defined and sometimes impenetrable boundaries. That information and data are managed by IT. This is a big issue. I firmly believe that data is best determined and managed by the business. IT looks after the technology that manages it, but you should be looking at yourselves to know what data you need. Some of you may disagree, but it is certainly, in my experience, more often than not been proved right, not wrong. Data lakes and data warehouses are a cure for all data issues. They do have their role, but too often they're used as an expensive sticking plaster for data issues, in particular to try and fix data quality issues. So how and where do you start? With the business and the business needs. A business strategy is an essential part of your success. An information strategy is an essential part of that business strategy. An information strategy underpins your business strategy. Do you rely on gut feel or experience to make decisions? Maybe backed up by data and reports. Today, we need to pivot that reliance. We need to rely on data and back that up by referring to gut feel and experience. We need to become really data-driven. If you don't agree with your data, don't shrug it off, get it fixed. It's a great soundbite, data-driven, but it's not so easy to deliver. So why do I think this is so important? I turn it around. AI to me is data insights and action, which is driven without human curation. So you have to get confident in your data Trust your information before you're ever going to accept AI. It's a cultural change for many businesses. They're not comfortable, but it must be addressed. Do you, for instance, rely on specific people to run reports, or can anyone run them? Do you question the outputs more than you believe them? There are generic challenges with IT, and what are they? Money, 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 never-ending spend on IT and technology. I bet this resonates with some of you. If we're not spending on digital transformation, then we need more money to fix it and make it work. Just one last check and we'll get there. Maybe a lack of tangible benefits, too much time making things work, struggling to measure success. Confusion as to what we're doing, frustration at getting real benefits, anxiety that we'll be left behind, concern that we're not realizing value. So do you have all the information you want and need to be able to run your business? Are your forecasts accurate? Do you have to rely on speaking to people to find out what you need to know? Do you rely on specialists to deliver standard reports? Do your staff struggle to run reports that you need? How many people does it take to produce a regular board pack? Or do you get to hear things after the fact? Do you have your dashboards allowing you to monitor business in real time? Is your working day peppered with questions and surprises? Do you feel as though you're reacting to, not really in charge of events? Do you worry whether the information you're given is accurate and up to date? Do you discover errors or missing data too frequently? Do you question the data source of standard reports? Have you found that you just have more questions than answers? If any of this resonates, please don't ignore it. Address it before you get left behind. So some of the AI challenges that people talk about to me. How can we win the AI race? How can we stay ahead of our competition? How can we deploy solutions that are effective at solving issues and giving us a competitive advantage? Technical expertise and data resources. What do we need? What does the business need? And how do you use AI to gain a competitive edge? Profitability, creativity and content. React to changing customer demand in real time. Pricing issues, resource allocation. How to use AI to disrupt your industry. AI has the potential to disrupt industries, innovate and grow their businesses, create new products and services, improve existing ones, change the way that you do things. Fraud in the credit card industry is a classic example. Look at how it's changing, identifying ever-changing patterns of behavior in the way that we spend money. Large language models to support market research or analysis. In the AI arms race, how do you stay ahead of the competition? Do you invest in AI research and development? AI talent, let me tell you, is expensive. So what does your business need? What does your industry need? How are you going to find this out? What's going to help you differentiate from the competition? Maybe A/B testing that continually learns and adapts. Maybe you automate customer service. You have intelligent whiz-bots based on changing data. And how do you prepare your business? AI, I assure you, is a revolution that is already underway. Businesses need to prepare for the changes that AI will bring, or they will be left behind. Reframe your thinking about AI by seeing it as seeing it as an opportunity to streamline processes, to solve complex problems, and improve decision-making. How will it affect you? Research and understand the potential impact of AI on your industry, your job function, and your personal life. There are other thoughts for consideration that are being bandied around. What will the AI advantage look like? What is the AI imperative for business leaders like you? Is there a future for businesses without AI? The future of business is AI powered, so how will it change the business landscape? How will AI impact jobs? Are jobs really at risk? And then finally, the big one, ethics. How to use AI for good, the ethics that people are talking about today. So some of these issues might resonate with you right now. Are you excited by the possibilities, worried or concerned? Which word encapsulates your mood best? So as I said, the chat and GPT chat and the Q&A are private and they're not shared now or in any recording. So can I please ask you to open your chat box? Delighted as I am to welcome you here, I have to ask, who are you and why are you here? What is your job title? What single key piece are you hoping to get out of this session? What word encapsulates your mood best? Is it concern, anxiety, frustration, confusion, excitement? Pop it into the chat box. If I can, I'm going to temper my webinar to address some of the key issues that are raised here. Don't be shy. So just interested to know more. We have a mix of people coming here. AI curiosity, data quality, excited, what to look for, etc. Struggling to be data-driven, let alone AI ready. Well, I can sympathize with that. This is a really important, that last point. So we're getting an even spread of words around concern and confusion and excitement. AI, let me know, is full of known unknowns and too many unknown unknowns. So I sympathize with you all. Truth be told, I feel much the same. I do not have all the answers. Not sure anyone does. What I will fix on is what you can do to be best prepared, to be ready to recognize what is going on and be ready to take advantage. And that's what I'm calling AI ready. As we will see, the concepts of data-driven AI ready are very closely linked. They both need the same basics, the same foundations to be in place. So we will definitely be covering that later today. Sorry, still more coming through. Okay. This is going to be an overview of the session. We're going to start off with some of the foundations, which will take a bit of time, process of getting those foundations in place, which is much more quick, and then the final bit, which is return on investment. So the foundations. Whether you're looking to be data-driven or AI ready, the basics are the same. You have to get your foundations right. The focus is on data, accurate, real-time, accessible data. The core principles with that is data is captured once, used many times. Data is updated in one place and updates apply across all your systems and data stores. It is referred to and known as the master data concept. It's communication, knowing what metrics you use, how they're defined and how they're measured. Systems, knowing how your whole business works and preferably aiming for integrated business systems. Processes make your business unique. Systems are about delivering your process ecosystem efficiently, and I say that advisedly. Often problems appear to be because systems are single process or single department orientated. They're not owned by the business, with business needs at their heart, and this is where the silo issue is normally rooted. Capturing and using data is what it's all about, knowing where you are and where you're going. So the foundations is all about having this in place. So how do we get going? The processes vary between all businesses. That's what makes a business unique. What are the key steps that we've found working with companies, large or small? What can you learn that you can apply? There are certain disciplines that we've found apply in part or in whole to all businesses, and they're not rocket science. We've been putting our framework together for the last 5 years. And the key takeaways is not to worry initially about the technology choices and to get the basics sorted first. The technology choices, the decisions as to what to spend and why, become much easier when you've got those basics in place. And by following a tried and tested path, it becomes much easier to put in place the metrics and the KPIs. What does success look like in our AI ready state? I find many business leaders have long struggled to measure success and ROI in IT in general. Many people do try, but few have great success. But going through this process and with your foundations addressed, it becomes easier to put a value on success and a cost on failure. And when you can identify the real cost, benefit, value of doing things right and the cost of doing them wrong, you can place a material value on what you're doing and measure your ROI. The reality is that strands of AI have been used in business for quite a while. Robotics in manufacturing replacing repetitive tasks, large language models powering bots that answer questions automatically, predictive and forecasting tools. It was the launch of ChatGPT that opened up the frenzy, but AI has been around in one form or another for several years. The arrival of large language models has opened eyes and avenues for application. There is one application that I would come across recently that I think is going to have a huge potential disruption, a major part of our business lives, and I will cover it in greater detail near the end for those of you who are still here. However, where do you start? You should start with an AI strategy team. Consider how AI will affect your business. Get people on there who are curious about AI, technology, and your business. It's not about ChatGPT and generative AI. It's much bigger than that. And if you're interested, I have a list of topics that you could consider, and I'm happy to share that if you're interested at the end. So, who am I? My name is Philip Milne. I am the founder of Intellidat. We've been going 5 years. My premise back in 2018 was that AI was coming and would revolutionize the way we do business. I saw it as being data-driven without human curation. Data identifies insights, systems are in place to implement. That was my vision back then, pre-pandemic. It still is today, though I am a bit older and wiser as to what is needed to get to this point. Many of my potential clients were not ready for AI. Many still struggle. So if that's you in part or whole, don't worry, you're not alone. Many of us are struggling with similar issues. Before that, I was founder, group operations director, known as GOD, of a company called the Concerta Group. In fact, I was the CEO, CIO, CDO, as in digital officer, as well as health and safety, payroll, operations, delivery, etc. We grew from a startup to £40 million turnover and a successful sale to a trade competitor in 2017. In my early days, my partner was sales and marketing. My job was everything else, building the internal bridges to meet client expectations. And as the business grew and expanded, our needs changed. M&A brought integration issues. Vertical expansion came with growing pains. But underneath it all, we always had very good data and information. It was based on the concept of integrated business systems. All our technology spoke to the same database, and we had excellent value for money. We were supporting in excess of 400 staff, 6 offices, kitchens and depots, numerous brands, all under one set of generic systems. Every brand, every department had access to the same core set of systems, the same core reporting system, the same best practices. And the cost to us was less than £250,000 per annum, and that included a full-time team of 2.4 staff. As it transpired, though I was told differently at the time, this was excellent value for money. The business management system, or the BMS as it was known, provided a backbone across the whole business. It was a mix of best-of-breed systems, but all focused on data, accurate, real-time data, an accessible single source of truth. We had a centralized reporting system, data captured once, used many times, automation introduced wherever possible. It was user-friendly and a single source of truth. And as we sold the business, I was already planning on how AI would be integrated in the future. The tools and technology at that stage had not really arrived at a price point we could use, but the principles were clear. Forecasting, we stood to revolutionize our business forecasting. There are more and more opportunities for automation using machine learning. Service levels, I felt, would go through the roof, and our reporting would just get better and better. The foundations were in place: single data source, high quality data, a business which used data to understand trading patterns and help make decisions. The culture was already in place. And at the same time, we used technology to push our boundaries, to improve service to our clients and cut the costs of delivery. We integrated e-com with business systems. We could do it because we had excellent data foundations, reporting, automation, forecasting, and we always started from meeting a business need, whether that was pushed by staff frustration, costs, inefficiency, or simply desire, or even curiosity. That was my background when I set up Intellidat, a play on words, intelligent data. The reality that I found was that our focus on data was not usual. Most companies I began talking to spent far more money on technology, but they did not have a clear data or technology leadership, strategy, or vision. So how do we help at Intellidat? By helping companies get their foundations up to speed, by focusing on your business needs, mentoring existing teams, building new ones, helping individual businesses identify the business need and how they best get there. And how do we help? Well, we have a light touch sort of advisory mentor role with some minor teeth. Maybe we're in a steering role, leadership in an advisory capacity, fractional leadership role, not full-time, but not consultancy, invested in your business and your success, or a driving role, short-term, pushing for short-term improvements on foundations. And finally, and sometimes on as a board advisor, a mentor on delivering data value to the board. And what makes me special? I'm an expert at identifying how to integrate business systems so they do their job, are user-friendly, efficient, scalable, and promote best practice. I practice disciplines like business system and solution architecture, process management and mining, 21st century reporting solutions. I'm a logical, pragmatic businessman who talks techie. I understand how a business can take advantage of technology. I've done it all my working life, but I'm not profligate. IT, information, data is all part of the business machine. It's either helping achieve business goals, it's part of the P&L focus, or it needs to change. Outcomes are based on efficiency and productivity, reporting, automation, forecasting that works and helps you achieve your aims. So why this focus on data and information? I grew up in the era where cash was king. I think cash still is king. Data to me is the queen. Data has to be your most valuable intangible asset, and data and information is the power behind that throne. AI is going to be the rocket propulsion that will drive businesses today and tomorrow. AI or machine learning is already changing the way that we do things. ChatGPT is on everyone's lips. The rate of change will accelerate. Soon it'll be too late, so you need to act now. You're going to need your own intelligent data to be a winner. Being a laggard, as I mentioned before from McKinsey & Co, will be most damaging to corporate health. At this stage, it's not necessarily about technology. It's about your needs and your culture. The technology choices will follow. The immediate need in many businesses is to get the foundations and the culture ready. Is there a rush? Yes, because it's happening and it's going to be moved very quickly. Spend in haste, regret at leisure. Get the basics right, your foundations, identify what you need, understand how you can deliver that. You should be looking quite hard at what you do, how you do it, and where you need to improve. Nothing but nothing should be above review. It does not matter how much you spent on a new ERP system last year. If it's not fit for purpose, it will be costing you ever more money as you go forward. Is ChatGPT relevant? No and yes. It's a working example of a large language model. It understands questions and inputs. However, your AI strategy should not focus on ChatGPT. Like billboard advertising is part of marketing, so ChatGPT is part of AI. It is one strand of a greater topic. Where does your business actually need AI? What are the quick wins? How will you benefit in the medium term? Customer service, chatbots, intelligent wiki, repetitive activities, highlight potential and opportunity, highlight threats, forecasting and modeling, improve service, reduce costs, spot opportunities, intelligent forecasting. I defy anyone to really understand the long-term implications for individual businesses. So I say focus on your needs, not on the tools. Until you have your foundations in place, focus on your needs. Where will you benefit the most? What do you need to do? Drive new opportunities, make yourself more efficient. Productivity is underpinned by good data. Data-driven, go beyond the soundbite. The reality of having data that drives decision-making, not gut feel or personal experience. What is the underlying data telling us? We need to get relevance, foundations, and culture right. Why? Because data is becoming more important, and having poor quality data will damage your business. Data-driven, AI-ready productivity, they all need the same basic foundations. Understanding how the business works, building a data vision, identifying your master data structure, integrating your business systems. With a culture of people, process, systems, and technology, data as a valued asset, leadership to help break down those silos. Getting data-driven culture is a precursor to benefiting from AI. You need to trust your data. You need to remove all human curation, intervention in accessing and using that data. It is actually quite mind-blowing. Data and reporting democratization, easy to access, relevant, accurate, real-time. It doesn't happen by luck. It takes planning and preparation. Data lakes and warehouses are not the solution. You need to acknowledge that data sources are not working. These lakes and warehouses have an important role to play, but it is not to fix poor data quality. Spreadsheets, they should be used for analytics, not for systems, not for storing data. Productivity, you need to understand your business so well, how the people, processes, systems, data and technology all intertwine. We are not brilliant at this, and we need to get better in the UK. It's called business process management, but it's all about knowing your business. Integrated business systems. Basically, if there is an issue with your data, it is most likely lies in your systems. Systems are not processes. They help you monitor, measure, progress, deliver processes. Systems are a separate beast. They do not belong to process owners or department heads. Systems are not the same as technology. You need a technology platform, granted, to host your systems, but in theory, good systems will run on any number of technology platforms. It's really important to understand this concept because I've found it to be central to success. Systems are efficient, scalable, and good systems will solve data quality issues. They will increase staff engagement. They will reduce stress. They'll make work more efficient. They will increase productivity. They will provide a seamless experience across the whole business. AI and data-driven need a foundation of accurate, accessible, and real-time data. They need to avoid disconnected data silos, whether they be department, process, or technology-based silos. Business architecture and a business process review. Identify your happy path. Compare that against reality. Build a culture of connected data flow. Capture once, use many times. Democratize data. Data is owned by the business and used by those who need it, when they need it. People invested in and committed to playing their part. Leadership who understand connected data. No starting spreadsheets to track something. Seamless integration, one copy. A data vision understands how data flows through your business. It flows through departments, processes, and systems. Your master data structure formalizes that flow. It describes the skeletal structure of your business data, the core structural elements, how they're connected and how they add value. It is the core structure on which you can build your data-driven business and know that you're AI ready. Not all businesses describe this structure. this process fully, but they are very clear to me that businesses that get this right wholly or largely are very much further down the road. Doing it properly is not a one-off exercise. It is the basis of a long-term asset of great value. You may have heard the term Master Data Management Strategy, MDMS, to give it its title. This is the process of doing what I call MDS in reverse. It's that where your business is, then that what needs to be done, but it is very laborious, often undertaken in a culture or environment that's not conducive to master data concepts. In many ways, it highlights a cultural lack of information leadership. Would your marketing, sales, or finance work without a leader accountable for performance and output? That's a question. So part one, we're going to start dealing with the issues of getting there. So frustration. We keep spending money and then needing more and more money for it to work, spending even more money on more technology. What is working? What is not working? How can we measure if it is working? Are we pouring good money after bad? How do we know if we're getting value for money? Our reporting is not good enough. Why not? Our systems are expensive, but always need to be better to deliver the promised results. Systems and processes are disjointed and lacks a seamless experience. Or anxiety, are we getting value for money? Can we be more efficient? Are we being left behind? What do our systems say about our business? Do people who work for us think we are professional or amateur? Are we mired in spreadsheets? These are some of the key drivers that we see in businesses that are successful at building data value, being data-driven, and becoming AI ready. The key ones are the information leadership and culture, having a good business architecture, and developing a business knowledge hub. And I'm going to come back to these. So the fourth one going around is master data structure. I know this is starting to get a bit technical and I promised it wouldn't, but my experience has shown me that the leadership, the executive, need to acknowledge that there is such a concept without necessarily having to understand it in detail. For instance, we all know that there is a chart of accounts that guides the finance team. We ask for printouts to tell us how a particular cost center is doing. We might tell them what we need to know going forward, but we don't just change it ourselves. No department can declare UDI, go their own way. That's down to the CFO and the finance team to manage. The same is true with data. Data with value belongs to the business. It has value because it has context, not because there's lots of it. And having a recognized master data structure is where this starts. Having integrated business systems that view the business in a holistic 360-degree way. Every system and technology is interconnected so that we can deliver value, seamless integration, no cutting and pasting data transfers from one system to another. Because that brings us issues like silos, where data is captured and stored in department, process, or technology silos, where systems are complex, not elegant. Business system and solution architecture is about reducing complication. It is about making systems logical and elegant. Productivity, efficiency, best practice, user experience. Happy users see their systems as their ally, not as an oppressor. Reporting. Is your reporting dependent on individuals or teams or departments? Data-driven means democratization, dashboards that have a use and are used. They're designed for an audience. They're part of a standard operating procedure. Reports are available to those who need them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Real-time, accurate data available to all. Allow your people to focus on delivering actionable insights, not on scrabbling around to find the data. And finally, data governance. Data, as we know, can have value, data value, but only if you get it right. But data always has potential liability, legal responsibilities, costs involved like storage. It is essential to address data governance, to put the structures in place. Everyone, let me assure you, if you haven't had one already, will suffer a breach, big or small. They're probably happening to many of us right now. You must have the structures in place, not only so that you're doing the right thing, but also, I'm afraid, so that you can be seen to be doing the right thing. So I've listed these 7 key drivers. I'm not going to go in depth of all of them, as I said, but I'm going to focus quickly now on the first 3. And they're all part of this framework, which I call your information strategy. Information that is based on data, what I used to call intelligent data, hence Intellidat, that gives us insights, not to be confused with data that is expensive and of limited use. The most important cornerstone of your business strategy in the 21st century is you need to know where you are now. You need to know where you want to get to and what you need to succeed. Strategies underpin plans. It is the basis for building all and any of these so-called digital transformation plans. You need to focus on your data, not your technology. So where are you now? If you don't know, start with your business. I call it business architecture. How do your departments and processes, strategies, KPIs and goals link together? From marketing through to finance, process and system review and then analyze. How does data flow? What does the data vision look like? Build out your master data structure. Understand how your current systems work. Overview of what is used and where. The ideal is to build a comprehensive business model. It's not as difficult as you think, and it will deliver real long-term value as you use it to get to know your business and how your business works, warts and all. Where do you need to get to? Understand the frustration, the pinch points, what your business needs. Resolve priorities and what needs to be done. Get technology working for the business. Detail your ideal seamless process path. Model your current systems on top. Identify the biggest weaknesses, the best low-hanging fruit, and then prioritize changes and improvements according to predefined priorities. Rolls-Royce, Lloyds, Tesla, and others are here examples of household names who have adopted an information strategy to drive digital excellence. Established names and recent prodigies. I could also add Facebook, Google, Amazon if you want. Less of a household name in the middle there was my old business, Concerta Group. We put together our information strategy as part of an inflection pivot in the early 1990s. Staff levels were approaching 20 people, not 200, 20 people, and management data was slow and inconsistent. This move allowed the company to leapfrog competition through organic growth and acquisitions, integrating new businesses quickly and efficiently, understanding customer needs, automating internal processes, and embracing the internet revolution by integrating web tools, e-com, and day-to-day systems so that information was always ready, seamless, consistent, accurate, and in real time. It was not housed in lakes or warehouses. There were no delays. Quality information available to all teams when they need it. I mentioned the concept of inflection points. As your business grows, you should get ready for the next stage of your development. You need to look at your structure, processes, systems, and the technology that you will need. Leave it too late, and it's really expensive to resolve. Roughly speaking, approaching 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, 200 people, 800, 1800 people. We did a radical rethink at the 20 mark that served us well for the next 10 years, with minor tweaks along the way. But as I was always revisiting and improving our information strategy, our processes and systems were kept in line and our structures developed in parallel. Departments, roles, specialization. And as we grew from 20 to 100 and then on upwards, this focus on revisiting our processes and systems and even our technology kept our data valuable and relevant. This is where the insights come from, where to invest, where to improve. Seamless integration of all people and parts of the business. We could track our clients from marketing through sales, from operations and into financial reconciliation. We had great marketing data. We had superb, real business intelligence, and all stemming from that first information strategy, which we updated annually through all our planning rounds. Here's a recent example of the value of an information strategy. This is a case study of a company that we looked at about 3 years ago. So the company in question were turning over about £30 million, and they were spending over 10% on what I called information handling, £3 million compared to our 250,000. They are a regulated industry. All the departments, when I started looking at it, had built their own systems. There was no overarching leadership. They had 6 core technologies. They had a CRM system, they had a project analytics system, they had an account system, they had an ERP system, and they had a marketing automation process. And on top of all of that, they had an expensive and very inefficient data stack, which led to their data lake in their warehouse. They did have that issue with every single company of that size and age. They had masses of spreadsheet systems, and they had security issues. And they had a BI DevOps infrastructure team of over 35 people. Behind it all, there was no strategy and no real plan. Reports were all hand-cranked, slow, variable results. People had no confidence. They were expensive. They had lots and lots of data quality issues, largely driven by silos. They had departments creating their own reports, some people going into Power BI, some people using spreadsheets, some people using just picks and shovels to find what they needed. And the outcome, following our review and an information strategy, was that there was lots of room to reduce the cost of technology. There were also opportunities to reduce the cost of delivery. We were able to automate functions, improve communications, and reduce data risks. There was reporting at all levels, dashboards aimed at specific audiences that worked, that make reporting more useful and much more business-centric. We worked on introducing a culture of data quality and awareness. This was probably the most difficult bit. And how did we do that? Well, we started off by appointing a clear leadership. We did that to start with until we found someone who could actually take it on. We put in place an information strategy and we had buy-in from top to bottom. It was a cultural change, it was ongoing, and it required input from everyone. We created a business process model, how the business should work, and compared that against the reality. We cut out variations, we improved the ideal. We articulated a master data structure. We started a simple glossary, but very quickly we upgraded this to a business knowledge hub to improve communication and adherence to regulations. We started integrating systems. We rationalized technology, largely to save money, but also to improve data collaboration, data quality, mainly through reducing, then removing the data silos, and introducing the seamless integration of technology, departments, and processes. We've recently upgraded to an AI-driven reporting solution to replace the old Power BI system. It's reduced complication, simplification where possible, what I call elegant solutions. Now they're definitely data-driven, they're definitely AI-ready. They really trust their data and have great confidence in their information and insights. No one questions provenance. If they do, they look it up in the Business Knowledge Hub and then question it armed with greater knowledge, or more likely they don't. They're AI curious and they're AI adopters. And the timescale, it was over 2 years of very hard work and considerable pain. They'd grown very quickly and they'd missed many inflection points. My part in this was, to start with, was fractional. I was a CIO/COO, I suppose, and I reported direct to the CEO. Strategy, guiding and mentoring the teams most impacted. Leadership in the early days, mentoring of the new leadership team when it came in. I relied on support from the CEO and the exec team. And overall, we cost less than a decent personal assistant per annum for those 2 years, but we delivered real quantifiable value. Now we're on an extended retainer, a couple of days a month. That's their choice. I had finished my task as far as I was concerned. I've talked about leadership. Whether this is from a chief operating officer, chief information officer, or you call them a digital officer, is more than very important. I think it's absolutely vital, without which we just get a fragmented approach. Departments and process owners demanding designing and solutioning in isolation. Issues with naming conventions, storage, technology, accessibility, quality and responsibility. There's no clear direction. Frustration, confusion, anxiety, and more cost and money. It's not someone else's problem to solve this. Data quality belongs to everyone. We can see the benefits. We need to take ownership of the issues. So often, when I first start working with a business, I can see if there's any clear vision. Just like an accountant or a marketeer or a sales leader, you can just spot the signs. So you need to start by setting the vision and the strategy. You need to align with and support the business strategy. You need to cultivate a data-driven culture. Promoting digital literacy, raise employee and leadership expectations of what information technology can do. It's beyond the spreadsheet mentality. Data drives activity. It's not just a lag reporter. It should be driving prediction, training, and quite bluntly, I often start with a leadership course for the C-suite, how to use technology to benefit the business. There's always going to be lots to do. Everyone will expect their priorities to bet now. So you have to manage those expectations. Planning, prioritization, and delivery. Everything is important. What do we need to do first is the business priorities. Focus on the data vision. Make sure you're getting the data you need. Aligning data and information to business objectives. You need to be able to drive, manage, and implement changes. Own the privacy, security, bias, and fairness issues. Allocate resources according to your business priorities. A leader who is not associated with any particular department. Accountable for success and or failure. Driving improvement, being able to drive change. In my experience, they need to be business-minded first. See data and technology as tools that help deliver goals. Curiosity helps. Technical understanding helps, certainly in the communication between the two teams. Sitting on the exec board certainly helps, so that you can understand what is needed. What are the priorities? Success is not measured in expenditure or technology choices or the size of the tech team. Measures of success and ROI are understood and they're in line with the business goals. Again, a slide with household names who have all emphasized the need for a culture of being data-driven. It was easy to say, but make no mistake, it's a lot less easy to deliver. It's about people and attitudes and habits. Where a change is needed, it does not happen overnight. You need to be clever and engaging to get people to change, carrots and sticks. You need to encourage data-driven decision-making, make it part of the culture, make it easy by planning for the data that you will need. It fosters a learning mindset, encourage curiosity, learn from your users, promote transparency and trust. If people can see data without curation, they are much more likely to believe it. Support collaboration and cross-functional teamwork. It helps teams understand their role in the business and in relation to other teams and departments. Encourage innovation and creativity. Identify the pinch points and inefficiencies allied to a learning mindset. Don't just do things, question why. Drive data quality and integration. It is our issue. Together, we have to solve it. We're in it together. Seamless. We need data others capture. Others need our data. It's not ours. It belongs to the business. Enables agility and adaptability. Know where you are, where you're going. Use data to rapidly play out scenarios. You'll start to come across terms like digital twinning to develop strategies and analyze potential outcomes in a parallel universe. You align behaviors with organizational goals. Quality systems provide continuity across the business. They feel professional and not amateur. Systems should provide a connecting thread through the whole business, from marketing to finance and everything in between. So where do you start? Well, I've said it again and again, with your business. If you don't have a model, I cannot recommend enough the value of starting one. You start very top level, and then you start to drill down to add details. You connect the people, the departments, roles and names, to the activities or processes, to the data and systems, to the technology you use. You identify potential cost optimization, automation and productivity improve opportunities. You can identify risks and how to mitigate them. You know your business in real time will make you particularly agile. It's called business process modeling, and it addresses cost optimization, risk, productivity, opportunities. I'm skipping past this as it's such a huge topic in itself. Whether you do a simple set of plans in Visio or Miro, or you invest in a BPM tool like iGraphics, a well-built and regularly maintained business model may well be one of your most valuable long-term assets. Just know your business, warts and all. Overview of people and roles linked to the processes, including dependencies and relationships. A clear and evolving data vision and master data structure. All this underpins the priorities and needs to achieve integrated business systems, which are the bedrock of seamless operating experience. In turn, this will guide your business technology. Value for money built in. We're iGraphic partners and we'll be happy to show you how it can help. The Business Knowledge Hub. I used to call this a glossary, but over the years to me, it has evolved into a knowledge hub. Your business glossary, but with all the bells and whistles. Easy to find, easy to use, available to all your staff. Your own personal Google, but for your business only. Save money, boost productivity, share knowledge from all your staff. Boost productivity by delivering the correct document, SOP or report, ready to use. Good knowledge and accurate answers is not only a core part of productivity improvements, but it is a key part of becoming data-driven and being AI-ready. Save time, get consistency. Promote best practice, improve communication and collaboration, which in turn leads to reducing errors and confusion, improve decision-making, increased efficiency. While they're all good buzzwords and sound bites, your knowledge hub is a good way of making them come true. A traditional glossary is used to define terms, business-specific, industry, or more general, including initials, acronyms, synonyms, even local variations. And why do this? To standardize your terminology, improve your communication and understanding, and reduce communication errors. And then expand this simple and valuable concept into your business knowledge hub as a single go-to source of all your key documents, SOPs, and policies. So if you're looking to be data-driven and support your analytics, standardizing your metrics and KPI definitions and sources is a vital first step. Identify and deliver the best reports. In short, deliver the right answers in one place. We use a solution called Describe, which comes with a flat price and unlimited users. It's logical and straightforward to use and maintain. If you'd like a look around, then please give me a shout either in chat or via email. So here are the top tips. So we've covered our key drivers of success: leadership, modeling, glossary or knowledge hub. And the top tips. Best for you depends on your business needs. Not every business has exactly the same needs and requirements. I always start with a clear leadership and culture, a vibrant business model or a series of business plans. A glossary, even if you don't think you need a business knowledge hub. The key drivers of your information strategy. Knowing how your people, processes and systems interact and how your data flows through the business. This data vision will lead to your master data structure. Detailed is obviously best. Outline is better than nothing. Governance and cybersecurity. Breaches are expensive and can be really damaging both to the business and to your wallets. KPIs for data and information. Return on investment. What is the cost of delivery versus the value derived? How will you measure success or failure? How will you convert that into benefit and cost? How will you determine your data value? So if you want at any stage an external opinion, a second opinion of what you might need to do, I'm happy to conduct a complimentary workshop for your business. 3 or 4 hours is required. I'll go more into this at the end, but we never do more than one per month. So this is the October offer coming live. The other way of getting hold of us and talking is with a call. So at the moment, I've got 4 calls available this week. If you want to have an outline chat for 15 minutes, book a call to see if we can help or advise or just answer a burning question or two. If you can't get on a call here using that short link, dtp.im/call, do drop me a line by email and we will fit you in. philip@intellidat.net. More of that later. Okay, the process. So how do you lay these foundations? What is the process you should follow? It should be pretty self-explanatory from what we've talked about so far. Start off with a focus on your leadership and culture. We've been over these 3 primary drivers. Business focus, but talks techie, have experience at cultural change. They have to be seen to represent the business. Chief Operating Officer or CIO or CDO. They need to be in a position where they can drive change. It will need to get people and culture to change, need to be above the politics, ideally reporting to the CEO only. The experience of architecture and data focused, using data for business gain, enterprise or business, system and solution architectures, ideally not frightened of bespoke solutions when needed. Data collaboration experience, cybersecurity and resilience, data governance. I really don't think tech or programming skills are that important. You buy those when you need them, but understanding what people are doing, that's invaluable. And the type of role, you may not need or warrant a full-time leader. That's where we come in. Delivery as a fractional executive. The pace of change can be slow. Digital transformation is often a cultural shift. Big bang is sometimes needed, but iterative tends to be better. However you build a model, you need something. Just high level is better than nothing. Detail the key bits is better than nothing. Key bits are to focus on interfaces, where departments, processes, even systems and technology hand over to each other. You need to build a data flow. Where is your key data first captured? Where else is it used? How does it get there? Model your risks, business and data, and mitigations and controls. If you're interested in iGraphics, let me know. Happy to arrange a demo. Whether you use us or not is irrelevant. If you need it, we add value. Of that, I'm confident. If you're planning or need digital transformation and you do not have a really good model in place, I ask, how do you really know what you're doing or why? Will it work? Will you be transformed? 70% of transformations fail. I am pretty confident I know why. Whether you want to go full hub or not, I cannot encourage you enough to build a glossary. It needs to be easy to find and use and kept up to date. It could be in a Google Sheet or a PDF on your intranet. Maybe you build one in one of those new no-code solutions like Notion or Coda, or even an Airtable or Embarking. Or you could cut out the pain and invest in a knowledge hub like ours. I say to you, if you can save 1% of your staff time, what is that? 1% of your gross annual staff budget. Not even adding in the total cost of office, technology expenses and support. It won't be a small figure, and it only gets bigger. If you're in a regulated industry like pharma or finance, the benefits are even greater. Do you need a glossary? What is the most important metric that you have to track? Pop it into chat if you like. I think it's going to be something to do with clients or customers. And I have a little test around defining a client I often use when I first get involved. Getting examples from 4 different disciplines and even from 3 different levels within those disciplines. I ask, what is a client? How do we track them? In what system? What is the key data to track and count clients? Requires a bit more knowledge of the data structure, obviously. And where do we find that data? Techie knowledge probably needed here. You might be surprised at the variance. If you then ask, how do I identify a regular client, a repeat client, new client, or even a VIP client? What do we need to know? I can share the full exercise with you after the webinar if you want, just ask. Just wondering, how many of you thought when I started talking about, yes, customer, that's something we need to define. So the information strategy, focus on your business needs. Everything is data focused. Identify your needs, detailed review, need to really understand how your business works and document it. Build a map of departments and roles, process and system flow, data vision and flow, master data structure. The data quality, do you have the data you need to answer your key questions? Are you really data-driven, AI ready? What is missing? How are you going to get there? You cannot really plan for the future till you know what you need. So the last piece is to prioritize. What are your priorities? What are the low-hanging fruit, the urgent? To start with, even short and medium-term priorities all crowd in on the immediate. But persevere. You cannot and should not try and do it all straight away. It is change, and that causes fear. Do not underestimate the drag effect of not getting your whole team on side. So take care. Start with things that can be delivered and will be noticed. Difficult as much will be left behind, hidden in the infrastructure, but always explain what is going on and why, how it will benefit your staff. From this strategy, you can start making plans. However, keep them simple and iterative. Keep staff engaged and part of the process. This is difficult when the stuff is going on in the background. Respect the input of your worker bees, the ones at the coalface. Keep your hub or glossary up to date as things change. Avoid the seduction of technology solutions that do it all for you. Return on investment. This is often the uncomfortable bit for IT and the tech-centric teams. How do you measure ROI? It's not easy or comfortable actually for anyone. As you develop your strategy and plans, you have to put in place your measures of success. What will success look like to you? How will you measure it? The direct costs of any implementation are easy. Consultants, technology, even allocating engineer and analyst time, they are the easy bits. But what about the business costs? Measuring these is more difficult, and we need to compare the cost of doing against the cost of not doing. Staff following inefficient processes, data quality costs, data stack costs. How do we measure the indirect costs of success, let alone the benefits? Staff saving, improved customer experience, better decisions, less bad decisions, staff engagement and pride. So here we are, Amazon. Can we, I can hear you saying, have anything in common with Amazon? They are so huge and so successful. Well, they are only 30 years old. Their success has been based on constantly working out what we, as their customers, need and how to deliver it. They're fixated on customers, maximizing experience, driving down costs. Revenues have looked after themselves. And how have they done that? By having the data at their fingertips to drive every decision. Jeff Bezos was fixated on the value of data from day one. Not technology, but data and data value. The history of the Amazon 6-pager is well worth a read if you've not come across it. It's an intimidating experience to go through, but it's based on a focus on a customer, the benefits to that customer, with the data to back it up. Other little issues like no presentation bias, no heavy hitter bias, no stitch up in the background bias. Pure data and analysis leading to potential benefits. The customer is always clearly defined. It could be an external or an internal customer, but no ambiguity was ever allowed. No PowerPoint bullet points to hide an absence of detail. Narrative, narrative, narrative. This, in large part, was the secret of their success. Decisions based on data. No idea was a bad one. Anyone could come up with an idea, and an audience would materialize to analyze, question, and judge that idea. Major tech successes of the last 30 years. We keep referring to these great tech successes, the tech stocks. Google and Facebook are a couple of them. When your business is 20, 25, or 30 years old, will you be one of these bear moths? But is it down to technology? It has played its part, but the secret is a focus on data. Google and Facebook, both these businesses are media businesses, data-driven media businesses. The value of their business lies in the value of their data, not their technology. Then the benefits of focusing on your data, becoming an agile business, knowing your customers as well as they know themselves, opportunities to drive revenue up and cost down, make bolder decisions. Data drives good decisions, avoid bad decisions. Data shows you where you can innovate and what that will do, back to the Amazon decision-making process. So I mentioned earlier on a complimentary half-day workshop. I introduced this earlier. It's aimed at any business that really wants to get to grips with any issue related to AI, becoming data-driven. The agenda will be open to discussion, the topics driven by you, or it could be a generic reworking of this presentation. There will be no cost incurred if it's an online session, travel and expenses if in person. There'll be no sales pitch and absolutely no obligation for you to do any more. It can be really valuable if you and your team want it to be valuable. The application form is on that thing, dtp.im Delta Oscar Yankee X, or if you want to book a call, discuss this, then add call on the end. In summary, the value of being data-driven, AI-ready is more than a soundbite. You cannot hope to spend money on technology to resolve these. There is no magic bullet. There is no technology solution to fix it all. We've been over the foundations: leadership, business model, the value of a glossary. You need to avoid being busy data fools. Keep it simple. Buy what you need, not what you're being sold. Start an information strategy. Follow the logical steps of that framework. Avoid the data myths. Fix data at source. Avoid the silos. Seamless connectivity integration. Identify your intelligent data. Keep it simple. Elegant solutions. I promised you this nugget at the beginning. AI in reporting is rather flying under the radar. Reporting democracy to me used to mean you run your own standard reports. But if you wanted to answer a different question, you either had to go back to an analyst and wait for them to prioritize your work, or you maybe opened up Power BI or Tableau, ClickUp or Excel yourself and work out how to get the data and model it yourself. Both took time, possibly a few hours, often longer, and then you have to test your results to see if you've made a mistake, and then maybe go back to the BI team to fix it all. What about making it more simple, cutting out the engineering bit and going straight to the analytics? There are a new breed of solutions available, where you can type in what you want to know in a natural language, and that turns your question into a graph or a table as appropriate. What are the top 10 product lines in Europe this month? How do they compare to the US top 10 products? That you can change the question at will. You can refine your question, change the wording, and the technology will return a different answer, or drill down and see what you find behind that. You can save what you find, add it to a dashboard, or share it with colleagues. Meanwhile, your analysts can do what they're paid for, analyze your data to drive better insights, not answer mundane questions about technology. Though the caveat I'm going to come back to, you all guessed it, data. They cannot turn a pig's ear into a silk purse. If you need humans to curate your reporting process now, you will still need humans to curate your reporting process in an AI-driven environment. So fix your data at source, store it logically, so you do not need a data science degree to ask the right questions. The solutions are similar in price to the incumbents, but they are miles ahead in value. So if you want a solution to look at, drop me an email or ask in the chat. Again, I have the availability of 4 calls this week, so my mission is to educate. If I can get paid, I always say that's a bonus. If you don't know where to start, you have any questions, or you just want some advice, book a call. If they've run out, email me at philip@intellidat.net. Remind me that we met on this webinar and ask for a time to connect.